Hello and welcome to Wondertilt, the podcast where fascinating topics of the day are weighed with opinion, knowledge, and humor, causing the seesaw of life to lean in whatever direction it chooses to rest. I am CloudComa, and with me today, I have some special guests. Jess is here,
Hello, hello.
and so is Matt.
Hola.
So, before we start with the topic of today, I just want to mention a story that something that happened today, which was my first 911 call.
As in you made the call?
I made the call. I
I
did
think
it.
the call was made on him.
No.
That makes more sense. I have stories about that.
We can relate.
Yeah. No. So what was happening is I was doing a job with my boss, and we were filming something at the Memorial Park, and there's some homeless people that like hang out kind of around there. And what ended up happening is these two guys, they both have like some mental issues, but I didn't know that until the cops told me, like when they showed up. But what ended up happening is we set up this whole set thing, and we were about to start when our guests got there. We were going to do an interview with them, and all of a sudden we hear all this yelling, and these two guys kind of like being very, very vocal. And we look, and do you know what a band shell is in like a park?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So like those things, they kind of stay in there just to kind of stay out of the rain and stuff. So this one guy, he would always stay there all the time. And what ended up happening is this other guy showed up, and I guess he was just talking to him. And the one guy just kind of got offended for some reason. And all of a sudden we're looking, and this one guy is like on top. It looks like he's like choking the guy out. And they're just like, he's just saying something like, quit bugging me or something. And all of a sudden the other guy the guy on the ground grabs him by like the hair, because he has like longer hair. And then he's like, "Oh, don't grab me by the hair," or whatever. And then we go over to me and my boss. We're like, "Should we do something? Should we call the cops or something?" And I didn't find out until later, but my boss didn't want to call the cops, and I didn't want to call the cops either. But so we're walking over there, and we were just kind of go over there and just kind of talk to them kind of thing. But they kind of like quiet down. And so we're like, okay, I guess it's kind of going down, and the situation's kind of calming down. So we don't have to go over there or call the cops because we don't want to.
Right.
And then we try to like start recording again. And all of a sudden, the guy that was on the ground, I see him tumble down these steps. It's only like 3 steps, but he does like a backwards somersault or whatever it's called, and he falls down, and then he's kind of like walking away, and the other guy's kind of getting rowdy and loud. So I'm told to call the cops, and then I call the cops, and the lady on the other end is very, very nice, and it was good because like I learned that at the police station, like when they do the dispatch people, they end up having like these foot pedals that switch back and forth between the cops that they're talking to, so like the police at the scene, and yourself. And so you kind of talk to her and give her information, and then she relays it to the cops like right away kind of thing. And she's going back and forth, so she's like very multitasking and doing all this stuff, and it just sounds like a very hard job that I wouldn't be able to handle, just because like let's say there's like a dying guy on the other end and he's on the phone, and you're like the last person that they talk to. That would be like way too stressful for me. But that was
thinking, like, you're talking about the foot pedals, so like I'm thinking like I'm imagining an organ player.
Yeah, exactly, right. and so the cops come over. I see the cops, and they're kind of walking around, and just kind of, she's talking to them at the same time, and they come up to me, and then the dispatch lady hangs up. She's gone. The cop is talking to me, and he says, "Yeah, that gentleman in the band shell, he's he at least gets called on a couple times a week just for being rowdy, right? So they kind of know him, and they're like, yeah, he's got some mental issues and stuff, but he's just always there, and there's always something going on. It's like, okay. And then the other guy went away, so we told him where he was, and kind of walked around, and so that was kind of like the excitement, and everything was kind of good on that end. And as we were interviewing our second guest, because we had to interview two people, with our second guest, I end up holding up like that white round sheet that it reflects light, or it like blocks light and makes it softer. Like when you're using video cameras, you always see that guy with like that big round thing, and he's just walking around. Well, I was that guy, and all of a sudden, like across from me, there's this big guy. He's walking towards us, and I'm like, oh, okay. He kind of sees the cameras, and he's gonna go around. But I end up like seeing that he's got like a bit of dribble. Like, it's weird. He was wearing a blue shirt, but there was like these yellow stains kind of around his collar. And so I'm like, okay, no, this guy is coming right towards us. And I guess he had some mental issues too, from the looks of it. Like, I'm not one to judge, but there are a lot of people like that around. And he comes over, and I put down the round thing. I don't even know what it's called, but I put it down, and he looks at me, and he's like, oh, I thought that was a drum. I was going to come over and just kind of play it. And he's like, yeah, I'm a good drum player. And then he walks away. and so it was just like really random as to what was happening. And my boss is like, oh, just another Sunday in Medicine Hat. And so it was just like a weird kind of experience to do that. I'd never called cops before, and that was like the highlight of today anyway.
Yeah.
But
well,
yes.
You got a story out of it.
I did. Yeah. What about you guys? Have you guys run into any of that cop stuff over there? Lots of it? Not on yourself?
Not on ourselves, I would say. It's kind of Tennessee, so we see people getting in trouble with the cops all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like just neighbors, or like out on the streets?
Thankfully not.
No? There's no killers around your neighborhood?
I don't know about around our neighborhood.
So
it's kind of a...
Our town had this bad reputation when I first moved here, that it was like mislisted as being one of the worst cities in, like, was it this half of the states, or was it all of the states? Like, it was ranked higher than like, not Detroit, but it was like that example. Like our town is a lot smaller than like Detroit, for example, but because of how the study was done, the violence per the number of people, like per block,
it made us
something,
look pretty bad.
It made us look really, really, really bad.
Oh man! Oh, I thought you meant like when you said like mislabeled. I thought you meant like there was a typo, and all of a sudden you're like the most dangerous place.
No, it's
in
definitely
the States.
bad. It's just the amount of people in comparison to others, we look pretty
like
bad.
per capita kind of thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Whenever they were measuring by that measurement, it was misused. But if you went by that measurement, like Athens was really high up on the list where it should not have been.
Right. Yeah.
But if you went by the proper listing, we're still up there. But you know, it's okay for a community of this size and stuff too.
That's crazy.
It's kind of like the Hat, because you know how the Hat is like a transition city.
Yeah.
Between like the border and Calgary being the next big city, so the Athens is kind of like that too. So.
Oh wow, that's crazy. So do you have to like? Is there certain things like when you walk out in the streets that you have to do that, like to keep people, like to not grab people's attention, like anything like that? Like you got to wear your backpack on like the front. Yeah, exactly, right? Like not to get shanked or anything. Do you have to do certain things?
I'll let you answer that. You've been here longer.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have a worse outlook because most of these people walk into the store every day, and I deal with them personally. But like we have a doorbell video camera on our front porch because we don't trust people that much.
Oh wow!
So it's I think it's a big like drug issue mostly. Like people are crazy. So I don't think it's much of crime more than people are drugged out of their minds.
Yeah.
Guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other side of the thing is too, though, is there aren't any sidewalks here, pretty much.
None.
So you can't really just go for a walk.
That's
You're
right.
like walking in the road or next to it.
Yeah. So you're asking like, what would you have to do to like not grab attention to yourself? And the solution is, you have nowhere to walk, so you're not going to be outside anyways. But,
so in other words, if we go for a walk, we're grabbing attention from others.
Pretty much. Like, why are they on the road where
weird.
the cars drive? Like,
Because that's what we ask about other people. We're like, why are they out doing that? Where are they going?
Yeah. So like there are sidewalks, but
Right.
the sidewalks are mostly in like the high traffic areas. So like our neighborhood, our immediate neighborhood does not have sidewalks until you hit the main roads.
Oh wow!
It's just how the city's built. And ever since I moved here, I questioned like,
It's built wrong.
are they planning for the future? Like, are they leaving enough space to build sidewalks? Because in a lot of places there isn't space to build sidewalks. There's just a straight ditch, and
They
the ditch is usually part of like the person's property. So I don't know. It's just silly designing, in my opinion.
Matt has several complaints about how things are constructed here, such as
Well, he's an
our
architect,
speed
so
signs are several miles apart.
Yeah. So if you just turn onto a main road, you'd want to know what the speed limit is right away, especially if you just got off of another main road.
right.
But you don't find out what the speed limit on that main road is until you pass another main-ish road, or whenever they feel like putting a speed limit sign. So more often than not, you're speeding by accident, or you're not going fast enough by accident, and then people driving by are mad at you either way.
So most of the time, you don't find out what the speed limit is until it changes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the interstate isn't too bad with that, but it has its moments. So a lot of the times you go for miles and miles and miles and miles without seeing a speed limit sign, especially when you want to see a speed limit sign. And then the back roads are even worse because a lot of the times there's lots of tight turns that come out of nowhere. And you're like, oh, I'm going a little fast for these. And of course you just turned onto this road a little while
Because
back.
your car's about to
But-
tip, is that how you can tell? It's just I'm going a little fast. My
So
wheels are
he's
just two
terrible
of them.
about that. Like if we're like getting onto the interstate or coming off of it, like he's always going way too fast because we never know what the speed limit is.
Wow.
So it's kind of like the passengers pushing their foot through the floor, like, oh, we should be slowing down. Yeah.
But I also know how to drive, so we're not in
No,
danger.
I know you do.
We're not
It's
in
just-
danger of tipping. It's
just
it's
you
fast.
slow down really quickly, and then you complain for a few minutes, and then we're good.
Stupid speed limit signs.
Okay, now I have a question though for you guys. So which one of you is more like susceptible to road rage then?
That's definitely Jess.
That is definitely me.
Yeah?
That's me. That is me for sure. Yeah.
So like
Like, you
what do you do like when, let's say, someone cuts you off or someone's not driving fast enough?
So here's the thing. He's the complainer. I'm the teach the person a lesser driver. Lesson driver.
Right.
And she'll do
So-
it by a rant that lasts 10 minutes, and it's really funny.
Yeah. So if I'm in the left lane and I'm already going over the speed limit or what we think it is, and that person in the big truck or something comes right on me and stays there, and they're just being an idiot. So before they came up on me, they're like speeding around cars and stuff like that. So my thing is, okay, I'm going to get right on, like right at the same level as the person next to me where they can't go anywhere. And I'm going to stay there. So the car on the right in the slow lane, I'm going to slow down to their speed limit and I'm going to stay there. And I just look at them in my rearview mirror.
You taught
And
them a
then I
lesson.
talk about it. Yeah. And then I talk about it just kind of out loud. And that's what he's talking about, me ranting, because I'm like, all right, well, you were just going to try to cause accidents, so I'm going to stay right here and we're going to have a talk about it.
Yeah,
you're going to
with-
stay back
with
there and you're going to learn that
telepathic
this is not safe. Like,
And-
you can't go anywhere.
And like her eyes, if her eyes are laser beams, the guy,
She'd be aiming at the tires just to make them like...
yeah, like the guy
Veer off the
behind
road.
her would like be into a molten heap of metal because like
Yes.
she's just glaring, and it's like nonstop, intense glaring while
That's-
going on this rant while driving the same speed as the person beside her, and it goes on for a lot longer than you might think.
But here's the thing.
Awesome.
If they're getting closer to me, they're thinking I'm going to get over or that I'm going to get scared, and I don't. Because are you going to screw your car up? No. You're going to stay there, and you're going to wait for me to move.
That's right.
Because if they're going faster than me, I'll get over. That's fine. But if I see you being an idiot coming up behind me, I'm going to be like, all right, this person's going to kill somebody. Let me slow him down a bit. So that's my thing. I'm
if
being
anything,
safe.
you're a policeman.
I am a law-abiding policeman,
right.
other than
That's
me
right.
speeding a little bit. But I'm not one of those that gets mad and yells and freaks out on people.
No.
It's just I like rant about them a lot.
That's funny. I'm kind of the opposite of a lot of people. Like I kind of just like mind my own business and like just follow the speed limit. And if someone cuts me off, I'm just like, oh, okay. And I'll just be like right behind them as they're just going. Because I'm just like, I don't have anywhere to be super fast. I don't know, but that's me.
I really
passive.
hate speeding. I really hate speeding, and it irks me a lot. Like, so the interstate is 70 for the most part here.
Mhm.
I'll go 75 to keep people behind me, content. But everyone goes 80 here
Or 90.
or 90,
Right. And that's
no matter
very
what the
fast.
speed limit really is.
That's
But then
miles
they get
per
mad
hour,
at you
right?
if you're-
yes,
like-
miles per hour.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the thing though. Like if you were like I'll go 80 normally in the left lane. And people are still mad because I'm apparently going way too slow for them.
That's way too slow.
Apparently.
We're
10 miles
talking.
No,
over
it's
the
not.
speed.
So 70 is like 120 kilometers per hour. So just to put this into perspective,
That's
And
crazy.
70 is slow for a lot of people driving here. So I go 75 miles per hour, and I stick with that. If they want to cut in front of me or pass me or whatever, I just deal with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I make a fuss about it to Jess, but I'm like you, where I just suck it up. Most of the time, it's just not a big deal. I don't really care. They can go be silly, whatever. It's just stupid. So
Most of the time they can pass me, but if they're being jerks about it, I'm going to speed up and make them work a little bit harder to pass me.
That's right. You allowed some justice.
That's exactly right. Like I'm sure it sticks with them for the rest of their lives.
Okay, that's enough talk of that. Okay, we're gonna get to the topic today. So, topic today is going to be about pets, owning a pet, like what it's like, what changes. So, yeah, I want to ask you guys, like, what do you think? Okay, like you guys just got a dog, right? No, wait. Let me rewind. So, you guys got sugar gliders, right?
Yes.
Okay, now kind of describe a sugar glider for those that don't know.
They are
a baby kangaroo.
no.
No, I don't believe you. That's not what they are. They're like
Yeah, don't
monkey
believe it.
chipmunks. Monkey flying squirrels.
That's closer. So it's similar to a flying squirrel. I don't know, like they're bonding animals, but they bond to a family, so they're very sweet, but it takes a long time to get them to bond, and they're a little bit more high maintenance, but they kind of sleep all day, they're very nocturnal.
And describing their appearance, you were kind of right with the monkey.
Yeah.
So
it's
like
similar
they
to
have opposable thumbs as hands, but they have
Oh, weird. I didn't think
they
that.
have 4 hands. So their feet are also the same thing as hands. Like they have opposable thumbs on their feet too.
Mhm.
So they have 4 grabbing appendages, and it's really cool to watch them eat something small. Like if you get like a Cheerio out or something, they'll like hold it with their tiny little hands.
It's so weird to me because like I've never had a tiny animal as a pet. I've only had a dog, and so it's weird that like you guys let it like crawl on your chest sometimes. It just kind of hangs there and holds on, right?
Yep.
So like did that feel weird the first time you guys did it? Like it's like a little tiny thing kind of crawling up you.
extremely. So at first they didn't want to stay still at all anyway. So they can climb on anything. So they just kind of run across you, like up and down your arms, down your leg, like all over.
They
and
have-
they have sharp little nails.
Yeah.
So that's,
Sharp
Oh.
little claws.
yeah, we're covered in scratches.
But yeah, they're very curious animals. So when they first got to know us and were getting to know us, they were scared of us because they didn't know us very well. And like Jess said, they're bonding animals. So once they like get to know you and once they bond with you, they're they're not scared of you anymore. So they start to like explore, and that translates to they'll crawl all over you, and they like pockets and like shirt pockets and stuff. And
Okay.
so once they like memorize like, hey, there's a pocket here, they'll tend to remember that after a couple of different like I'll say training sessions. And so they got to know where my right pocket was pretty quickly. And so whenever they got like spooked or whenever they got uncomfortable, they always scampered across to it from wherever they were to that pocket. And then once they found the pocket, they were like content to chill out there, and they just like regain their composure, or they'll scamper inside and just chill out there. Because like they're also like a kangaroo in the fact that they have pouches. The adults have pouches. And so when they're babies, they are inside those pouches in the adults.
Right.
Just like a kangaroo baby would be, right? So when they grow up, and as they're growing up, they like that feeling that they're in a pouch. So when they're in your pocket, they wouldn't like a loose pocket. They would like a tight fitting pocket. So when they're in your pocket and say that they're spooked or something still, what you would do is take your hand and like gently press against the pocket to create a pressure, which would simulate being back in that womb pocket thing.
Right. Wow.
So they're really cool creatures. I really enjoy them, having them as pets.
So when you guys got them, was there what did you have to do to prepare for these two little guys to kind of come in and be with you guys? Like, how did you prepare the house or anything like that?
So it's not so much that we had to prepare the house. We don't really let them run around on their own like you would with like a dog or a cat.
Oh, why not?
Well, they're very small, so it's more of worried about them.
So, okay, I'm just going to stop
being
you
gone
there.
forever.
Yeah, so Rocket, the male, loved to go into the sofa couch.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got in there, he will not come out unless you can like physically grab him or coax him out because he got bored.
Right.
Yeah, so we'd have to flip the couch
Upside down,
and like dig him out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So that's like literally in the couch?
Like inside the couch.
Yeah.
It was a hide-a-bit couch, so it made it a little bit worse. But the backing of the couch had a vacant space in there, like just a wide open space, which you could access by sticking your hand in there from the back underneath. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, it was a pain to get him out. So there's that. Why we don't let him run out. But they do kind of explore. Like we had in one of the kids' rooms there, we had most of it sectioned off, and there's nothing that they can really get lost in. So we let them run around that room lots, and that was a lot of fun. They just watch them like explore because they're so curious. So they'll like look at everything, and I won't say gnaw, but they'll nibble on a lot of stuff and jump on stuff and just explore. They love to be a pie, and they also have like a flying squirrel has those folds of skin under their arms, right?
Right.
So when they get up high and they want to get lower, they'll tend to jump off something and kind of glide down, right? And it's really cool to watch.
That is pretty cool. Interesting. So now with their personalities, like, are there certain things that you give them, let's say, something to do, and you give them both the same thing to do, but they do it differently because based on their personality?
I would say Rocket's more outgoing than Nova is. He's a lot more, I don't want to say aggressive. He's just a lot less shy about doing things. So with him, he would just go straight into it but she would just kind of hang back. So they have very different personalities in that.
Okay.
At the same time, aggressive does fit Rocket very good.
I don't want to say like he's mean or anything. He's just, no. I think it's the male part.
Probably.
Yeah.
Training him was a struggle, especially for me because I love to handle him.
He's a biter.
I was determined to break his will to bite me.
Just establish your alpha dominance. Is that what you're trying to do?
Pretty much. Like I was just tired of putting up with his crap. Like he was moody.
Yeah.
He was extremely moody. Like I would come home and he'd be like, "All right, well here's what he bit me today," and his finger will just have this big like bit out of it. Like,
oh, that sucks.
Nova never does that.
So like
she's calm.
He took a while to bond. I think it was mostly because we noticed him taken up like I almost want to say a sentry position within the cage we had him in, and within their little hammock that Jess made. He kind of had like the lookout. So I think he took more of the role of a protector. So he pretty much like attacked anything that could be, a problem. And at the time, it was mostly like me pushing and prodding him and stuff. But I mean that
So
in
it's
like
a nice fault.
Just poking
good
him.
way. I'm just trying to like get him used to human hands. Because when we first got him, we were told like they're going to take a long time to get used to you. It's best to get them space for a little while, but after that little while has passed, handle them lots, get them used to human hands, because they're very like family focused. So like think of a tribe, and like these things in the wild have like their own little family of like up to 20 gliders or something.
Okay.
And they have different roles within that family, but they really grow around that family, and everything revolves around that family. So once they like bond to, the owners, like our family in this case, then they're with you for their whole life, right? So they're very protective after that's happened. But at that point, because our two gliders grew up together, he was very protective of Nova. So like, I'm pretty sure I got bit lots just because he was, just being protecting, right? So
yeah.
Once we got past that stage, it was, fine and dandy.
Cool. Now, well, you guys just recently got a dog, right?
No.
When did you get the dog?
So
I know you got a dog.
I believe
It was in the background. It was barking.
Late March, early April.
Early April, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But
Not that long ago.
We got him supposedly at 9 weeks, and he is an Aussie Shepherd mixed with Border Collie. So he is extremely intelligent, and he's been very easy to train, but he is a terrible biter. So that's been a huge issue. He likes to eat the kids.
Nice.
And they're low to the ground, so they're easy prey.
They just, like rabbits.
Well, more like they run around and make noises and move and stuff. So it's like a fun game.
And
right, yeah, he thinks he's playing.
Terrible because think of like a cannonball. So that's exactly what he's like.
Yeah.
Or a little football player. So if you're walking, like I was getting ready for work this morning and I went to walk down the hallway to leave, and you just feel like this force just smacking the back of your legs, just this blunt force.
But it's constantly.
It's constant, like you almost fall. Like you feel a little bit of teeth, and then you feel a lot of push on each leg, like over and over and over again.
So like a good analogy would be the football players tackling that practice dummy thing over and over and over.
Okay.
Like trying to push it down the field. That's exactly what it feels like.
Wow. So
but he's a puppy still, so he's not big. So it's not like a big like push or anything. But
so how big is he?
It's a bit. We never have weighed him. Oh no, the lady said. Remember what the lady said? We took him to the vet recently, and that's why Jess said that we found out he's
so far.
He was supposedly 9 weeks old when we got him. But
so like a foot tall or something, or what?
I don't know how tall to say he really is. Like he's about 12 pounds. So, I mean, he's getting a lot bigger than he was. But we supposedly got him at 9 weeks. But the vet was kind of saying that he might be a few weeks younger than that, just because he should have started to lose his baby teeth by now, and he still hasn't.
Oh wow! So they lose their baby teeth really early then. That's crazy.
Yeah, around 12 weeks, and he's 14 weeks so far, and he still hasn't lost any. So I feel like we were fibbed a little
late bloomer.
Yeah.
Or we were fibbed.
Or I think we were fibbed.
I'm going with that, because that would also explain the biting issues.
Yeah, if they're separated from their mom too early, they don't really learn how hard and not to bite and all that good stuff.
They don't learn how to play, and he does not know how to play.
No, he's the worst. He's so mean.
He's
like
so
the poor
mean.
kids, they'll run around in the backyard, and he sees it as them playing, so he'll just chase them down. He is so much faster.
Right.
And so he'll just kind of spring and smack them in the back, knock them down. So it's
it's funny to watch until you realize your kid's getting bitten.
Yeah, that sucks. What about, so how did because you guys had the sugar gliders first, so how did they react to the dog?
So they don't really interact. He's kind of our daytime pet, and they're our nighttime pet.
Yeah, because they sleep during the day, right? They wake up around 9 or 10 p.m., sometimes even 11 p.m.
Okay.
And then they don't go to sleep until
like 7 or 8
7 or 8 a.m. And at that point, we're moving around, so that's kind of like their cue to go to sleep.
Okay.
And I have picked up Comet, our dog, and I have put him close to the cage so that they can kind of like, acknowledge and smell each other.
Yeah.
And the only thing that happened with that is Comet looked at them, sniffed them a little bit. They came up to the cage, looked at Comet, and then both were very disinterested and moved away from each other. There was no barking. There was no like, hey,
That's a good thing, though.
what is that?
That is,
just
yeah,
like
that's kind of good.
I really don't care.
So, I mean, the thing with sugar gliders, though, like if you do your research on them, is that they also bond to the family pet. So they're not very anti-other animals or anything like that.
Right.
And they smell different. I think the correct term is a marsupial.
Yes, so they don't smell like a rodent. They're not in the rodent family.
Okay.
So the dogs don't normally go after them.
Mostly because they don't smell like a rodent.
Oh, wow.
They smell weird. And what the
like
person
monkeys.
we bought the gliders from...
A monkey.
Sure. The person we bought the gliders from, because we told them we're gonna get a dog in the future. We just don't know when. How is that gonna work in this situation here? And they're like, so in most situations, you're gonna have the family dog, get used to the dog in the family setting first, and then introduce the gliders, so you have control of the dog, of course. But he was saying that once the dog, like, when you first introduce it, it's not going to know what to do with it, because it's not going to be like, oh, that's like a mouse, let's go kill it.
Right.
It's not going to be like, hey, this is a threat or something. It's going to be like, hey, what is this furry little object that's moving? And then you're going to be like, this is where you enforce, like, hey, it's a friend. And then, they should coexist really nicely after that point.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, with our dog, he's just going to like think it's a toy or something and, chew it. So right now, that's not good. But I don't see it being a problem later on once he matures. So
right.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think is important for you guys to do with your dog? Like, is like biting the top priority that you need to teach it, or barking, or anything like that?
So I don't really feel like barking is an issue. He only barks whenever like he needs something, for the most part. Like, he's not a big barker overnight or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I think more the biting, and then of course we're just doing regular training with him while he's young, and he's catching on to that really quickly. So it's
right, because he's pretty smart.
Most of the biting we're focusing on currently. He's extremely smart.
Yeah, I'd say for me, I'm trying to train him. Jess has gone really good with teaching him how to like sit and lay down, and so I'm helping out with that. But I'm also focusing on like the stay and the come, and like telling him to come here is what I'm seeing a lot when he's outside, especially.
Right. That's a huge problem.
It does not work. So
no,
I'm trying to teach him how to stay first and then to come, because I think that I could like coax him over.
Right.
But staying isn't working very well, so it's just a slow process. He's still a pup, of course, so I'm being very patient.
Yeah, exactly.
The biting, if we're going to like rank stuff, the biting is the top priority, but he's also not old enough to fully understand, biting is not good, because that's all he knows how to play right now too. So
that's right.
So one of Matt's issues is that while we're outside with Comet, Matt sees a rabbit, because there are a large quantity of them near where we live now, because of all the wooded areas. So Matt thinks it's great to try to get Comet to see the rabbits, because he wants to see him chase them.
Good job.
So
I don't see the problem.
So Matt will like make an effort of like getting into the yard and trying to make him look straight at this rabbit, make him chase it. And so
why?
Then after Comet, I don't know.
Why not? Hunting you just want to kill it and eat it?
I don't want to kill it. I want him to like acknowledge
that's what he's going to do.
Animals, and then I want him to go and chase it.
Exactly.
And if he does kill it, I'll be happy for him.
No. Be a brutal killer. So once he starts chasing the rabbit, but the rabbit can easily get out of our fence. It just goes under, and then it'll just kind of sit on the other side, and Comet will just kind of stare at it. Like, he doesn't bark at it or anything.
Weird. So this has only happened once. I need to interrupt you.
No, a couple times. Well, I've been out there. Like, if
Okay.
he sees it.
Well, last night was the first time I witnessed it.
Okay. Well, good. Because you...
I was so
keep
proud
it
of
up.
him.
I want to paint this picture. So I've been trying to do this for like weeks now.
Yes.
And he
every
does-
time we go outside, we
He
see a
does
rabbit.
not see the bunnies until
so unobservant.
last night. He was literally like, I don't even know, 10 feet, or is that too much?
He was like 5 feet from the rabbit using
Last
the
night.
restroom and staring in its direction and did not see it.
Yeah. And I was frustrated. And then
Just look at it.
He'll
he came
never be
back
the
to
war
us.
dog I always wanted.
So he came back to us after being within 5 feet. Then he went back out to that spot, and he started smelling the spot that the rabbit was in.
Okay.
Like 5 minutes before that. So I think he was starting to sniff it out. Like, what is this sort of thing?
Right.
The thing
And-
kept circling around it.
Yeah,
like,
and
just
it
did not
kept
see
circling. And then the rabbit moved, and I think he saw it, but he was like a good 10 feet at this point, I think. So by the time he actually started moving, the rabbit was onto him and like completely just outmaneuvered him under the fence. And then the rabbit was like just sitting there on the other side of the fence. And then they were both like doing a stare down thing.
it. Yeah, but he wasn't barking. They were
Established
just staring
dominance
at
again.
each other.
Your
Yeah.
dog
But
lost.
here's the thing. That's when Matt wants to be like, all right, Comet, come on inside. Come here. But no, he's not going to go in. He sees a rabbit.
He doesn't
you
know
wanted
what it
him to see
is.
the rabbit. He sees it. He's not going to come inside.
He's just
He's
very
curious.
confused.
Yeah.
He's very confused. Like, you told me to chase it. Why are you wanting me to go inside?
So I had to get my shoes on and go pick him up. Actually, I think after you can like take his attention away from the rabbit, then he's like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna run over this way. I'm not gonna run over this way." And it's like, "Oh, it's a game now. Okay, we're going to play a game." And then I think I picked him up in the grass at that point to carry him aside.
Mhm.
But usually it turns into a game where I just have to like stomp my feet as I'm going inside the house, and it's like, "Oh, we're going inside to play. Cool." And then he follows me.
Hmm.
But yeah, the whole like, come here is one of the biggest issues with the outside portion.
I bet. So did it change your guys' family dynamic when you got the dog? Because I know probably with the sugar gliders, it wasn't as big of a change. But with the dog, has it changed a lot or a little bit?
I wouldn't say it changed it a huge bit because our house is already a zoo with having 3 kids.
Mhm.
The gliders didn't change anything really, I wouldn't say.
No.
But with him, I think it changed a little bit just because the kids got involved and
Right.
just training and stuff like that. But
So
he's
probably
like a
in the
little
future.
kid himself, though.
Yeah. In the future, do you think it would change at all? Or with the training, it would probably just kind of even out, where it's just like the same. It probably
I
won't be
think,
noticeable.
I think the dynamics will change more so in the fact that instead of like right now we keep him cooped up in his cage mostly because he's going to be biting everything or peeing everywhere just because that's what he's doing right now.
Mhm.
But when he's trained and stuff, he'll be able to just hang out. He'll be able to just I'm just going to chill right here. I'm going to lay down and just chill. And then he'll see a kid and he'll be like, "Oh, I'm going to go play with the kid," and then it's going to be fun. But right now that's not happening. So I think the dynamics will change once he gets older,
Right.
and it'll change for the better, of course. So
Yeah. Okay, so now I asked you guys, well, not really directly asked, but is there any kind of like weird pet that you guys know of that people have that is just really strange?
An otter.
An otter? I guess
An
so.
otter.
Wouldn't that just be like a big weasel though that swims?
Yes. Like, it would be so fun, though. Like, you just see the videos of them where they've got them in their bathtub, and they're just kind of just
Oh, really?
happy as can be. They're just, like, flipping around.
Just in the tub.
And they make their cute
That's
little
funny.
noises. But at the same time, like, they can go crazy and eat someone if they wanted. So I feel like they're
They can eat people?
like an attack animal.
I don't know what kind of otters. Yeah, I guess so.
The
maybe.
kind I want.
the
You
vicious
asked which
ones
kind
I
I
want.
wanted. I want a sweet yet can attack people otter.
Just a guard daughter. Matt, do you got anything? Weird
guard
pet.
otter. Did you just say that?
that's what I said. Like a guard dog that you want
Take a
because you're
brief
trying to
pause.
train it to kill rabbits, to guard against rabbits for some
He
reason.
is.
They're not
He
innocent
is.
or
I don't know
anything.
what his deal is.
I don't know. Okay, yeah. So the weirdest pet that I've heard about, it's from, like, so you think lizards. They're kind of like an oddball pet, in my opinion. Anyways, I did not grow up around that, so it's different to me. But then I moved down here, and one of Jez's coworkers has a bunny as a pet, and I found that really strange. Only because I grew up around bunnies, but they were like an outside pet.
Oh.
Never as like an inside pet that kind of was like a dog. So like I only find it weird because of how the bunny behaves.
Okay.
And it like runs around the place. It's like
I gotcha.
It's like a puppy.
So my friend at work, she has a lion head bunny. I think it's a puppy. It kind of runs around with the dogs. It thinks it's a dog. It's just this big furry mass. And
That's
yeah, I mean it's a little bit odd, but he's just very like he just kind of roams. I mean, he has a cage, but if she's home, he's out. And he'll just come and get on the couch and kind of hang out with you. And
it's a bunny.
It's a bunny,
weird.
Yeah.
Isn't it strange? I
that.
thought it was strange. Like I'm thinking how to answer your question.
It's fantastic. Yeah, he's a funny one. But like, why are you poking my face?
I thought you had an eyelash on your face. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, like with the reptile thing, like I had bearded dragons when I was younger.
Right, and I've heard of that.
I think that's a weird thing for Matt. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say weird. It's just I've not grown up around it. Like it'd be cool to have like a snake or a lizard or something, but I'm just not experienced with that.
Well,
I don't consider it
super affectionate.
Yeah.
So
well, I don't consider it weird. It'd just be like a cool thing to have. But then, like to answer your question, was more like I was thinking like a lion or something like exotic. But then I was like, no, that's not really weird. That's just really cool. And then I was thinking about like, what do I know? And then the bunny came to mind, and then I couldn't shake it. It was like, oh, well, why is it so weird? Oh yeah, I could talk about this. And like, I don't know. It's just weird.
So like,
I can't
like a pet.
Every bunny I have.
Yeah,
Sorry,
like a pet that acts like a different animal, right?
Yeah, it's more so like every bunny that I've ever grown up with, or not grown up with, but like been around that's been in a pet, kind of relationship. It's either in a cage constantly, or it's just it's a roamer, but it's not like it's not a friendly one. Like we had rabbits growing up a little bit, but they're mostly outside pets. And when you did interact with it, it did not act that friendly at all. If it was in a good mood, it'll let you pet it. Don't go near its face because it bit me lots and left me scarred.
Like you just have traumatized experiences with them.
Emotionally scarred, I must add. But I don't know. I just to see like the videos I've seen of her coworker just like interacting with her bunny, and with it running around the house, just free roaming around, acting like a dog. It's just weird.
That's odd. That's really odd.
Yeah, I mean it's cute, it's awesome, but
so what you're saying is you want to get a bunny?
No, I'm saying it's.
But we can't now because you've trained our dog not to let us have one.
Exactly. I subconsciously did this.
Then let's just agree to get a Finnick fox
rabbit
or
dog.
Something. Just get a fox. Let's do that.
I don't want a fox.
I do.
Because I'll be like, "What did the fox say?" And
that's what you'll do? Just like all the time.
All the time, guaranteed.
Okay, then yeah, we're not going to do it then because I can't. That'll be too much.
That's crazy. Okay, we are going. I'm going to ask you guys. So I asked you to think of a mythical creature that you would want to have as a pet. What are your pets?
That's a harder one. I'm just waiting for Matt to be like this weird rabbit dog hybrid.
Okay, calm down now.
You can't look it up. What are you doing?
I want to get the right name for it.
Oh.
That's what
Okay, so what do you guys want to do? Do you want me to give you a list of the stuff, or
I think you should do the list, and we should also pick our own thing.
Okay,
yeah,
I can do it.
Before we start, I'd like to say that when I looked up a list of mythical animals, it pulled up doppelgangers as apparently mythical creatures.
Oh wow.
So I didn't know that was an option.
Yep.
And also, I realized that I already have a mythical creature because it lists a banshee, and our daughter is definitely one of those.
Which one?
I was aiming at like Desi.
Oh yeah, Destiny
Yeah.
is she can be a banshee.
She definitely is a banshee more than a regular child.
Debatable.
So that's not what I would want. I would not want a second one of those.
No.
So we've rolled that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just do the top 10. And if I find a weird one, I'll add it in there. So, first one, unicorn.
Yep, obviously.
Yeah, you like unicorn?
Actually, I was thinking Pegasus would the top one.
Yes, that'd be a nice one too. Just to get around, or would you ride it, or just to keep it around?
Both. Like, so I was like we were just discussing a second ago.
The winged ones would be
I
a
was
big
thinking, like, yeah, the winged ones would be awesome just to ride around. I would love to like strap a saddle on it and just ride around. Like we were discussing, like all these creatures are like something we've played in like the game Ark. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. And like a griffin was another one that kind of stuck out.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, just like the flying riding aspect would be pretty cool. I don't know. I like flying stuff.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. What about a minotaur is in here? What do you guys think?
I can see why.
Minotaurs? Why? For your
You
labyrinth?
could
I
ride
feel
it.
like that's something you'd want, like if you had a lot of enemies and you wanted to knock them out really quickly.
Oh.
Like you just have this minotaur bodyguard that just walks around with you everywhere. And like someone looks at you wrong and then you just deal with it right then and there.
Matthew would train it to like hunt the rabbits around the area.
I don't know what his deal is with rabbits, but I could see him using
He just hates them.
the baddest way of getting rid of them, yeah.
Have you played
They
Legend of
traumatized him.
Zelda Breath of the Wild? The Minotaurs in that game are scary.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
So that's what I kind of base my whole understanding of Minotaurs over now, because like those were a fearsome enemy in that game, and it was memorable because like they're powerful. And yeah, when Jess put her little like bodyguard thing, I'm thinking of like this hulking beast that I don't want to mess with. So that's
Yeah.
a good bodyguard.
Just make them like bouncers at clubs and bars.
Yeah, like if it was a fantasy world that we were in, then yeah, totally.
That's
that would
exactly what their job would be.
That would be a great
Yeah,
job.
That's
for 'em.
right. So
Guarding a world leader.
yeah, that would actually be not bad. How about the Hydra? The kind of the
Three-headed dragon.
Well, yeah, it has a lot of heads anyway.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, it
Yeah.
has multiple heads, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, and they get cut off and just grow back. That would get out of hand. Why would you even
I feel
like cut their
they
head off?
are
I'm not
like a
Hercules.
large version of a Medusa Bad Hair Day. Like they're just a massive version of that.
Yep, that's true.
But what's the
Yeah.
point? Like the only
Like,
reason
what could you do with it?
the only reason I see it existing is to conquer it,
Mhm.
and then it wouldn't exist anymore. So what's the point?
It wouldn't be a threat. You just train a
It'd
little
just be
tiny
menace
baby.
to have around. Like you couldn't keep it.
You had to put it in like a dark corner and put lots of layers in between you and said dark corner, and then just becomes a dungeon, and then it's a game. Get to the end, defeat the boss. So again, I'm at the point where what's the point of having it? Because
You can't keep it. You're just gonna have to defeat it and
like,
be done. Be done.
hiding until someone comes and kills it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then you guys mentioned griffins.
Yep.
Those are good ones. Yeah, just to get around.
It looks majestic.
Yeah, just to look cool. Like they're probably like the Lamborghinis of the
No.
mythical
That's
pet
what
world?
the Pegasus are.
Is that what,
Yeah, that's the
are they the
Pegasus.
Ferraris then?
Yeah.
Or what is
Maybe
this
the
griffin?
Mustang.
The Mustangs?
Yeah, the Mustang.
The
I guess
American,
so.
because they have like the eagle head going on, so they already have an American feel to them, I guess.
Okay.
I think it's also biased because I'm living in America right now, but I don't know. They just look like the powerhouse, whereas the elegance would be the Pegasus. You know,
What would you consider the Manticore then?
Oh, that's a good thought.
Because that's one of my favorites.
The what?
Like,
the which one?
Definitely not sleek by any standards. Manticore.
Oh, I forget what that looks like. I'll look it up.
That's the
it's
scorpion tail.
Lion scorpion tail with like bat wings.
Oh,
Dragon
yes.
wings.
Actually, yeah, that's actually better than the Griffin. I like that better than the Griffin.
Yeah, I think that's higher up than the Griffin. Because I'm
In
not
what way?
really fond of birds.
It's much
I like
cooler.
the wing aspect, but
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Like-
I'm trying to put a car analogy to it still.
Oh,
I think I prefer the lion head to the eagle face. I don't know. That's just me.
yeah.
Like, I'd want to keep the wing part,
I
just
don't
not
like-
the bird part.
I don't like scorpions. That's what.
Then don't make it angry.
You won't get stung. Yeah. How about a phoenix?
I like the idea of the phoenix. Like Matt said, he'd be worried about like the fire aspect of it.
So I want to ride on it and fly on it and stuff. And if it's on fire, I'm not fire resistant, so that wouldn't work out
Yeah.
very well.
So I would want a large phoenix that only burnt you when it was like angry. So if it was like going after something, then it would be like damage inducing.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I can get on that.
So like it would still have its flames, they just wouldn't like hurt you or anything unless it was like going after something.
It'd
So just don't be near it if it's angry.
it'd be very
Again,
pretty.
don't be the angry thing.
Just don't make
Yeah,
anything
okay,
angry.
Yeah, just don't make it angry at you.
Okay, next one is the dragon. That's actually number one.
Of
Everyone
That's
wants a
number one?
dragon.
Okay. I don't want a dragon.
No? Why
Think
not?
about the upkeep. The upkeep would be horrendous. You'd have to get all the sheep in the world eventually.
All the sheep. That's
Feed
all
it
they
to
eat.
them. You need a sheep farm, you know?
So how
Yeah.
would you have what was I thinking of? How are you going to feed the griffin then?
I don't.
Are you going to feed it like
I'm
massive
just-
mice?
I'm feeding the first thing that came to
Massive
my mind.
bunnies?
The first thing that came to mind.
Or are you going to
People.
feed it?
People.
People?
All-
Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
World's inmate problem.
Okay, I feel like we're getting into some dicey areas here. Like, if we got a manticore, we would just take it out to...
Ethiopia.
Just kill people? What? Once
Sorry.
again,
I was thinking like just
genocide.
regular wildlife, like lions kill other animals all the time. It'd be totally normal
It's true.
to have your manticore just sweep down and like
Same with the dragon.
grab hold of an
Instead
antelope
of
or
that.
something. No, I feel like people would be much more threatened by a dragon.
Same with the
That's true.
manticore. It's got a lion head on it.
Yeah, but it's not gonna like blow flames out of its neck.
I was like with the dragon, I was thinking of like how would you clean it? You'd find like the nearest pond that it would
And
bathe
you'd have
in.
to like worry about like getting it a massive heat lamp and all this crap too.
It's a lizard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lizard.
Yeah. It's a giant lizard.
That's dumb. I definitely don't want a dragon. I was already against it, but I don't want one for sure now. Giant heat lamp. Get your own heat lamp. Gosh.
So, I was going down the list and there's Cerberus.
Yes.
That would be kind of cool.
That was the one he was talking about being his favorite.
Yeah, so before we took a slight break there, I was like,
Yeah.
that was what I was thinking of, because that'd be cool. Like, three-headed dog, you have, like, the best scenario of, like, all of it. And, like, depending on which version is Cerberus, like, I don't know if all of them are on fire or not, but, like, having a flamey Cerberus would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yet he doesn't want to get burned by a phoenix.
Well-
Yeah. You're not fireproof, remember?
Okay.
It's toggleable, isn't it? I don't know. It's a mythical creature, so you can make whatever you want of it. So my version of it would be, it can, turn its flames on and off, and it's, cute and fluffy, and it's three-headedness. But I don't know. Like, that was my first choice.
So you want like the Harry Potter version of the Cerberus? Plus flames.
Yes, actually. That's
Okay.
actually a really good
All right.
description of it.
Cool.
But anyway, so that was my first choice. But I'm also leaning more towards, like, the Griffin or something, too. So
I want a narwhal. I feel like it's mythical
that
enough.
Is it-
song.
Is that a mythical creature? Is that what?
In my book, it is.
It's majestic.
Technically, it would be, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Let's say it is. So,
All right.
on this list, I was like scrolling down, and they mention they mention Unikitty, and that's the cat character from the Lego movie. So I don't know why that's in there.
What?
I don't think you have an approved list there.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I feel like you're.
No, it's at the top10s.com. I went to like all these different lists. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I wouldn't want that one.
Unikitty is number 12. Number 11 is
No.
Manticore. So
Are you serious? How is that number 12?
Manticore is hardly
Whoever
big.
made this list, dumb. I don't
I know.
agree with it. This is not approved by the mythical beings.
no,
Society.
it isn't. No, Unikitty's
Nope.
not allowed.
Can't be. Can't be. I'm against it.
Okay.
I'm going to be a member.
Matt has spoken.
I'm going
Matt
to be a
has
member
spoken.
on this society.
Now, it does mention centaurs. Oh, centaurs. I don't know how you say it. And mermaids. I would think that almost like borderline slavery, where you're kind of
So-
keeping like a half human.
I agree with you. Like the mermaid thing, like, are you gonna like put it in like a downstairs pool thing? Like, what are you gonna do?
How sentient is this mermaid? Or merman?
It's just a dumb mermaid.
So it's just going to
Just
swim
kind of hangs around.
and it's going to say,
Yeah.
feed me. That's all it's going to do.
That's
gonna
all
look
it's
at
gonna
you like
do. It's a reverse
It's
mermaid.
Goldfish?
Just
Okay, if
has
we're
feet.
comparing it to
Goldfish mermaid.
a humanoid goldfish, then I'm saying, what the heck do we have this for? Put it out in the
Do you have
ocean.
to have a use? Like, can't you just
I
be
don't
like,
want
I've
it
got a
as a
mermaid?
pet. It'd be so sad.
It would be really sad. But people keep goldfish all the time, and all they do is like stare
That's
at you with
because
their
we
big
know that they're
eyes.
stupid. A mermaid
We don't
isn't
know
as
if they're
stupid as a
intelligent.
goldfish, probably.
Keep dumb animals.
It's a herd. It's half.
Why'd you get it? Because
And I
it's
feel
dumb.
like- yeah, I mean, it just feel like a weird roommate situation.
Yeah, he was stuck in a fishbowl.
Yeah, like they're going to complain all the time that they can't go out because they really want to, and they spend a lot of money on online shopping.
But again, of course, depending on which version of this mythical mermaid,
What if it's high
it
maintenance?
could be like a
What if it's high
adaptable
maintenance and it spends a lot of money?
amphibian.
Spends a lot of
Do you
money.
hear that right now? Our gliders are chirping.
Yes, they are.
I didn't notice it.
They're kind of quiet.
They're quieter than the puppy is.
They are waking up right now,
They're,
or they're
kinda,
awake.
they're barking.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
a
a
centaur would be
centaur.
cool.
Again, the weird roommate situation.
Yeah,
Like, they're-
that's true.
like it's.
It depends on how sentient they are. Again,
Think about how much money they'd have to spend on shampoo.
Yeah. It's like taking out a horse and a
Like-
person.
it'd be just double what I take. Just say it.
Yeah, and we spend a lot on your needs. So maybe it's just me. I wouldn't want that.
I am not a hairy man.
It's just got like a
Okay,
2-foot beard.
I don't know. I can't see it with a centaur. I just can't. It's not
No.
a pet. That'd be like a bodyguard or like
Once
something
again,
you'd see
bouncers.
out in a pasture in the wilds, not in your house.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, that was the
So
whole list.
Yeah, any human, half human things are maybe a no.
Yeah. Just for that.
Definitely leaning towards that.
Yeah, it'd just be too much slavery. They'd have to be pretty dumb for it to work out.
So it's okay for slavery if they're dumb.
That's right. Yes, exactly.
It's too dumb to
You're
say no.
spreading a
I
bad name
approve.
for yourself.
I approve of dumb slaves.
Maybe we should edit that out.
Yeah, just cut that part out.
Nope, leaving it in. That's what it is. Okay.
All right.
Well, we ran out of time, so I'm gonna end it there. It was a pleasure to have you guys on, and
Agreed.
Most definitely.
yeah, so we can do it another time, another topic, and so I just want to say to everybody, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll try to get this stuff in the future out on different platforms. Right now, you can go to Wondertilt.com. You can also check out, well, it's on the site anyway, but we'll have Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube on there. So thank you again to these two guests and to everybody listening. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.